What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Tuesday night, but for some of y'all, you have made it halfway up the mountaintop. Hump Day is finally here for y'all, and us Tuesday nighters are jealous. Well, me in particular, because Wednesday, Hump Day, is the day that I count down the weekend. Woo, I really do not like a Monday and Tuesday. All right, y'all, I have a good show for you set up today, as always. We got 3 stories behind the feed and off the record, everyone's favorite segment. Jay-Z is stealing from artists. Joe Budden is the next Diddy, and the Epstein files have been voted on in the House of Republicans. We're going to give you an update. And also, we have a recording of Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, saying that the government is actively scrubbing the names from the Jeffrey Epstein files. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss that. In lead stories, Donald Trump tells Americans to expect a $2,000 check. Pat Beverley accused of putting hands on his young sister. And Donald Trump has a huge loss in court. In quick news, we're going to talk Megan versus Milagro, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Stephen A. Smith, Kanye West, Drake, Sexyy Red, quarter zips, a woman having fun in a theater alone, Draymond Green, and Blueface's mama. Yes, she's back in headlines. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, question of the day, and of course, a social discussion of the day. Also, if you're like me and you are sick and tired of spam phone calls, text messages, and emails, we're going to tell you about a free trial from Aura that can get rid of all of that for you with a couple of clicks. All right? Make sure to stay tuned for that. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, your devices up. Come on, baby. Hump Day is close, or Hump Day is here for some of y'all, man. That's exciting, yo. Come on. Let's go! I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, our first story. Jiggaman, come over here, boy. I don't even remember where that's from, but I just remember it's funny and I like doing it. Roc Nation launches a new distribution dashboard. All right, now, I told you guys about this a couple of days ago, and I told you guys it would be a horrendous fail, and it has gotten worse news than just being a fail. Jay-Z is basically stealing and robbing artists, which is something that he has proclaimed himself not to do with Tidal. Remember that? Oh, and we're giving back to the artists. Instead of getting a penny, you're going to get more. Yeah, we'll talk to Nicki Minaj about that and the other artists that are on Tidal. But let's talk about Roc Nation's distribution. I'm going to break it down for you, tell you what it is, tell you one artist that has already come out, and then I'm going to break down the details on why this is horrible for artists. Roc Nation is putting more power into the hands of the artist, which is not true. Clips and St. John's and others use Roc Nation distribution for their releases. Will be soon be able to access a new distribution dashboard. Other artists also stand to benefit from the newly announced dashboard. As Roc Nation's distribution president claims in a statement shared to Complex, the new feature marks a game changer for independent artists. Again, not true at all. Like, that's blatantly false. That's ridiculous. It is a one-stop shop that will enable artists to receive a holistic understanding of their followers so they can build impactful strategies and broaden their musical reach without financial barriers. This dashboard is democratizing access to tools and information historically reserved for the very few established labeled superstars. Our technology is unique. It is uniquely ours and sets a new standard with no equivalent in today's music industry. Now, that's a little bit true. The dashboard is pretty, I wouldn't say futuristic, but it's pretty advanced and does give access. But what are these independent artists going to do with this access and this information? It's just numbers to them. But let me break it down for you, okay? Now, whenever I have backative that I could show you that it's not alleged, I love to. So here is one. Rapper Russ slams Jay-Z Roc Nation's distribution service over its payout terms. He says this makes 0 sense. He says it makes no sense, but it makes 0 sense if you ask me. In a 85-15 split, it is madness. Major labels take 15% of the distribution off of the top two. So it seems like they just modeled it off of that business. If you're an artist, this makes no sense to sign up, in Russ's opinion. An annual $50 fee versus 15% of your entire catalog revenue is ridiculously, and it's not even remotely comparable. One is a fixed cost, the other is a tax on your entire career. Free to upload is an okie doke. Fixed fees are what the artists are used to getting. A percentage drains money from artists. If you make, let's say, for example, $1,000 a year, now you have to pay 15% to Roc Nation. That is darn near 3 times the cost of any flat fee distributor. Just going to take a pause, just in case some of you might not be aware. Want to explain it to more in layman terms. What Roc Nation is doing by saying they're starting this distribution service is, let's say you're an independent artist, you make a song. Their platform, you could upload your song and it distributes to 200 different platforms. It will break it down, but I just want to make sure that you guys are up to date. Platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, etc. Over 200 platforms. And Roc Nation is saying they'll take 15% of the money you make. But there's a bunch of different platforms that already exist that Russ just said you could pay $50 a flat fee and then you could upload your music to these same 200 platforms. So why would you pay a company 15% of what you make when you could pay a complete other company to do the exact same thing for $50 a month? Let me just continue to break this down, okay? Major record label distribution comes bundled with major record label service, a team, radio, marketing, global office, sales team, editorial, leverage, etc. Roc Nation's distribution platform is a self-serve uploader with none of these services, and yet they're charging 15%. Again, let me just break that down. Now, if I'm an artist, I have a song, and I go to Universal Music. They're like, hey, Trent, we like your song. Whatever your song is, take me down the street. Okay, we really like this. Now we want 15% for us to go and put these songs on these 200 platforms for you. But we also have a team that's going to market you. We're going to help you get on social media. We're going to help you get in on radio. We're going to help you get marketing. We're going to help you do your photo shoot. We're going to help you with your rollout. We've been doing this for 50, 60, 70 years, and we're going to help you push it. That is why the major record labels will take 15%. And even at that, some will even take less than that. As you guys know, my daily listeners, I was in the music industry for over 10 years, management company. This is what we do in the music industry. You find an artist. It's a little changing now. Like example, like artists could just do their own distribution if they feel like they have their own team. But historically, you would sign over. So why this is ridiculous for Jay-Z to do in 2025, you're starting a dashboard distribution service, but you're taking the old model of what Def Jam would do where Jay-Z was first signed, or Bad Boy, or No Limit, or Cash Money, or any of these other labels. You're taking the same fee, but not doing anything? Nothing. I get to just upload my music, you take my 15%, and you sit down with Beyonce in your house and you just chill? That's robbery. That is highway robbery. But I'm going to further break it down to you, okay? The economics don't make sense when the entire market norm is 0 to 10% and only charging a percentage for their added services. People saying I'm hating for educating, again, this is still Russ. People saying I'm hating for educating the public on a bad deal. Transparency is praised until transparency threatens your fantasy. A bad deal is a bad deal, regardless who offers it. Evaluate the terms. Don't just blindly react to a brand stamp and forget how to do the math. Logos be doing spells on people. Damn, trying to look out for y'all. Now, what is he talking about? That Roc Nation logo, that Jay-Z stamp. People are getting fooled. Like, oh man, I'm using Jay-Z's distribution service. Bro, I can tell you 10 other services. Like the 200 platforms don't see that it's coming from Rock Nation and be like, oh, this is coming from Rock Nation. They don't care. It's a computer talking to a computer that plays your stuff. There's no Jay-Z and Rock Nation here. So Jay-Z is using his likeliness, his name, and his logo on you. That's what Russ is saying. He's just basically kind of manipulating you, thinking, don't use it for these other platforms. Use it from Rock Nation, as if the computers are going to care. Now, here is the write-up. Russ made it clear he is not impressed with Rock Nation's new distribution platform, and the criticism indirectly puts Jay-Z's company under the spotlight. The rapper reacted on Monday after seeing a tweet about Rock Nation's distribution dashboard, calling the payout structure unacceptable. Jay-Z, who founded Rock Nation, has not publicly responded to the backlash. Of course, he isn't. He never responds to anything. Anyways, I did my own due diligence, went to the website, wanted to see what it's all about. Shows up, welcome to Rock Nation Distribution, join now. You scroll down a little bit, it says, distribute music globally across 200 platforms. What's the first CD, that's back in the day. What's the first album you see there? Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. From one convenient platform, package and deliver your audio and visual content to meet partners' specifications. No additional distribution or labels needed. Explore the features. Rock Nation Distribution has over 200 digital streaming platform partners, including Tidal, which is Jay-Z formerly owned, but that failed, so he had to sell it off. I'm sure he still has a little bit in there too, so he's double dipping, including Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Venmo, and others to ensure your music reaches a wide audience. This global reach helps artists maximize their exposure and earning. Nowhere there did they say, well, with Rock Nation, we give you different access to different places. No, because it's all one uniform place. Nowhere did they say, you're going to be at the top of the list. You're going to be on playlist. You're going to have an advantage. No, because they cannot say that because they know it's an AI talking to another AI. You're literally just uploading. And to give you guys even more context for that, myself as a content creator, I record a show every day. I put it up on YouTube. And I also, like I tell you guys, for those who want to listen on podcast platforms, the audio is available on podcast platforms. Now, at the end of the show, I tell you guys, we're available on any podcast platform you want to. Do you actually think I sit down and upload it to 100 different podcast platforms? No, there is a dashboard that I use. You go and you upload it. Well, when you sign up and you say, hey, which are the platforms? You click all. Then you take the audio, you put it on there, you put the picture for the cover for the day, you put the information, and you click upload. And in 5 minutes, it's on every single podcast platform in the world. Boom. And guess what? I just pay a fee for that. They don't take 15% of my podcast. What kind of craziness is this? Okay, here's some more information. What Rock Nation's distribution is really about. Background. So Jay-Z, Rock Nation, merged its equity distribution and Rock Nation Records into a new entity called Rock Nation Distribution. They recently launched a new dashboard artist platform for independent artists. Here is where I will give them a little bit of credit. The analytics and audience insight. The dashboard gives real-time streaming analytics plus social media insight, demographics, segmentation, hashtags, emojis that are associated, which is good. Again, here's where they fail. Revenue royalties, no upfront fee or subscription needed. The artist keeps 85%. It shouldn't be that way. Royalty split. There's a royalty split for the collaborators. Same thing, 85-15. Payouts. Payouts will be sent directly to your PayPal account. Well, yeah, but you should send me all of it and just charge me a fee. Why this matters. This is Rock Nation's move to offer full service, but independent friendly distribution. Instead of just being a label, a legacy label, they're providing infrastructure that empowers independent artists. No, they're not. They're just trying to find a way to get more money from independent artists, and they're masking it behind Jay-Z and Rock Nation. The analytics and social insight make it a one-stop platform, not just distribution, but but audience building, which is true. I'll give them that. According to their president, it gives access and tools and information historically reserved to superstars. Okay. Because they don't ask for an upfront fee and only take a 15% cut, it's competitive from the financial standpoint for independent artists while giving them data and support. Again, not true. Here is where I wanted to get to. I'm going to list you off some competitors, okay? Here are some existing distribution platforms that are somewhat comparable, not identical in every way, but they operate in the same space and offer what Rock Nation is offering. DistroKid, very popular, cost-effective, unlimited downloads. Guess how much royalties you get? 100%. Or you can go to TuneCore. Strong reporting, which Rock Nation is saying they have the best reporting, but strong reporting, good for artists who want to control. Established distributor, 100%. CD Baby, well-known, supports physical and digital, offers publishing tools. Doesn't say they're split, but I'm going to assume it's 100%. Two Lost, very robotic tech. They distribute to over 450 plus places. Offers analytics, catalog management, fraud protection, and transparent royalty reporting. Again, not saying they're split, but I'm going to assume it's 100. Root Note, same thing. And 1 RPM, same thing, distribution, leader, whatever. I don't want to keep reading the same thing to you guys. Okay, now here is the takeaway to sum things up. How Rock Nation distribution stands versus these other platforms. This is at the top here. Brand power. Being Rock Nation gives privilege and possible better leverage and credibility to the industry. Tell me how. How? They're not doing anything. They're just putting your music out. You think so. That's the okie doke. And I love that Russ called that out. A unifying dashboard. Aggressive economics for the artist, which is an 85-10-15 split. A strategic focus. Listen to what they put here. They say, or this is the, I'll just read it. Even with an 85% split, Rock Nation is still taking a cut. For some independent artists, this platform is still not advantageous. The power of analytics and the dashboard depends on how well an artist uses it. The data is only valuable if you turn it into action, marketing, and growth. As with any distributor, getting big traction still depends on the music, the promotion, and whether you make use of the tools. So I say all of this to say, if you are an artist, if I am an artist and I make a song, Take Me Down the Street, and I upload it, Jay-Z is taking 15% and he's not doing anything. Now I have a big, beautiful dashboard that they say is industry leading. And I go and I look and I say, all right, there's 10 people watching it on Spotify. There's 10 people watching it on Apple. There's 10 people watching it on this. But okay, I got 100 people watching and 3 people on YouTube. What do I do now? Guys, we've been talking to you about Jay-Z for this past year, and we've been telling you the downward spiral that is happening with Jay-Z, Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, and it's just bad. And of course, Beyonce. And we told you guys a couple of weeks ago that Jay was in, I don't remember where, Saudi Arabia or something, somewhere in the Middle East, talking to these people that own trillionaire funds, and they're distributing billions of dollars, and they're trying to get into the entertainment space. We have also told you about the alleged stories about Jay-Z going broke. Tasha K came out and said, I have brands, his own label, saying how broke he is. And she's not saying that's alleged. Neither am I. I've told you guys about Jay-Z borrowing $50 million off of his home. For those of you who have ownership in homes or property, your whole thing is to pay it off. You get in any trouble, you need money. The banks don't want to lend you money. You take the equity out of your home. But that is never the first alternative. The first alternative is not to go for equity in your home, especially when you're a billionaire. So yes, Jay-Z still does have a lot of wealth, but this is, from what we are hearing, a last-ditch effort to try to save Rock Nation. We told you guys about Desiree Perez getting caught on camera saying that they're having problems making payroll. They can't keep up with this. They can't keep up with that. You guys know about him losing the casino bid. Nas liked an Instagram post the other day that was resurfacing, talking about Jay-Z losing millions of dollars and not being in the status that he was. Nas liking it. The aura that once was around Jay-Z, the God MC, is no longer. It is literally coming down before our eyes. You have not heard about this Rock Nation distribution. If you remember when Tidal was launched, my gosh, Madonna, Nicki, Usher, Daft Punk, like it was a huge thing. Like it literally took over the internet for 2 days. Like Tidal is going to rival Spotify, is going to rival Apple Music. We're giving money back to the artists. People are like, what? You want me to go to Tidal so the artists can make even more money? Which I don't think was a bad thing, but that's not going to get the average music listener to switch over from Apple because Madonna is going to make more money. You know what I'm saying? Like $10 at Spotify or $10 at Tidal so Madonna can make more money. It's not a good marketing strategy. Great for the artists and somebody from the music industry. Hey, I love that. I tell you guys, I'm always on the artist side. I want artists to own their own masters. I like that, but it flopped. It didn't work. I still use Tidal today, actually. Like, listen, this whole year for Jay, starting out with Tony Busby, it's just been bad. I tell you about I'll say alleged for this one, divorce settlements or divorce talk, I should say, not settlements, but divorce talk between him and Beyonce, all has to do with this. The Carters are in a very bad money situation, and Beyonce is out here dancing on stages for 3 or 4 hours a night, putting out albums, doing tour after tour after tour after tour after tour, because she is the only one that is bringing in liquid cash. Does Jay-Z still have wealth and ownership? Yes, but he's short on money. And that arrangement was Jay-Z was supposed to be the man. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce's like, yo, let me upgrade you, man. Let me put you in these rooms, put you in these places, but not to be turning around and failing. And now he's resulting to taking 15% from artists. For somebody in the music industry, has been in the music industry, this is a horrible move from somebody who says that they are always thinking about artists first. The whole point of Rock Nation was supposed to put the artist first. I am disappointed in this. I'm happy that it's not being spread around a bunch of places. There's not a lot of people talking about it because I just listed a bunch of other places that you guys can go, artists out there, where you're not paying 15% of your music that you're putting out. It gives you the same thing. Jay-Z has clout in this industry. He could come up with a platform that he could offer some management services, offer some insight, offer some help, give back. I'm not saying that anybody who signs up should have an hour meeting with Jay-Z, but structure something more where Rock Nation could help artists, not just distribute it like anybody else is doing. Said my piece. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, in our second story off the feed and behind the feed and off the record. Okay, I feel better. I got that off my chest. All right, next we're gonna go to Joe Budden, which I really, really don't understand what he is doing. Okay, Joe Budden reveals his fetish for watching his girl hook up with other people. Joe Budden has revealed that he is a voyeur and finds pleasure in watching and filming his girlfriend hook up with other men and women. Okay. Very interesting that you might not be hearing about this at too many other places, but behind the feed and off the record, this is where we talk about things in the gray area. I wanted to talk to you guys about this yesterday, actually, because I seen it pop up. But then I saw it it was on some blogs that I'm like, not too sure about this. What I just read to you came from Vibe magazine. So when I saw Vibe, like they're legitimate, they're journalists there. So I'm like, what's going on here? Then I went back to check today on Vibe and they deleted it from their platform. Here's a write-up that I found. Joe Budden has never been one to hold his tongue, but his latest confession is wild. On an episode of his Podwife show, the Pod King admitted that he is a full-blown voyeur. He states that he'd rather watch his girl with another man than to participate himself with another person, okay? Three-way. He then shared a wild story about being on vacation and telling his girl to wear something nice and go bag a homeboy over there while he planned to stand in a corner and record. Does that sound a little familiar to you? Does that sound like anybody that we have talked about at lengths? Somebody's court case that I went to go and cover this summer. Yo, Joe is trying to hide this story. That's why Vibe took it down. And that's why some of you may have seen it off on the internet, and then you go back and it's not there. I've made some calls out, and Joe, we're going to say alleged for now. Joe has allegedly said this, and now his team is trying to scrub it and take it off the internet so that he doesn't get investigation, probing, this or whatever. Like I told you guys yesterday, there are active cases, civil cases on literally like every single celebrity that you know of, okay? Ever since Cassie and Diddy, it's just ridiculous. Civil lawyers are making so much money right now, it's crazy. And I would say 95% of these celebs are settling because, like I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of days ago, because not only now will civil cases, of course, get out into the public, but then, like Diddy, it brings about potential criminal charges and at least if it's not criminal charges, a criminal investigation. The police are like, hey, we learned from Cassie. We can get these guys. And you know, the Popo definitely wants to get anybody in the hip hop industry. Like, come on, they've had the hip hop police around since the 80s. All right. So Joe may have gotten himself into a little bit of hot water. We're not going to go as far to say Joe's going to jail. We're not going to put that in the title. Well, maybe I will just for fun. But no, we're going to make it like Joe's the next Diddy or Joe or something with Diddy. But we're going to watch this closely. For now, from what my sources have told me, there's nothing going on, no civil cases, no active investigation, nothing. Joe is just scrubbing this. We do know that Joe is very freaky. We do know that. He talks about that with his girl all the time. He's very open about that, him and his girl. But this may have been a step too far and potentially could open a civil case. That's what I heard. I heard potentially a guy or a girl. Let's just leave it very vague for now. And Joe said himself, he likes his girl to be with dudes. So potentially there is a civil case looming with maybe a female or a male and Joe Budden. That's all I'm going to say for now. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. We'll let you know what's happening. All right. In our third story behind the feed and off the record, let's talk about the Epstein files. First of all, congratulations. The House has passed the petition to release the Epstein files with a vote of 427 to 1. I don't know. There's got to be one person that stands out. He's trying to say that he wants to protect the victims. Okay, let's not even talk about him. He's doing that on purpose. I want to talk to you guys about a few things that happened today in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson, before the vote. That's why I put things here behind the feed and off the record. We don't want to talk about what CNN or Fox or whatever. We want to give you guys what is really going on behind the scenes and behind the feed. So Mike Johnson made statements today before putting this to a vote in the House. And of course, he did the normal this is Democrat hoax. The Democrats should have done this. We are amazing. We're Republicans. We have done this. We have done that, whatever, blah, blah. During his speech, he said there were a bunch of reasons, 5 of them, why for the past couple of months, Republicans did not want to vote to stop this petition. He said they want to protect the victims. You know, this is a major injustice. This could change the way that, you know, cases are discussed. People that are coming, whistleblowers. Oh no, I can't talk today. Whistleblowers. We want to protect, you know, the investigators, et cetera, et cetera. He made a bunch of stuff, and he said, at the end of the day, we are here for the people, and we hear you guys, and we are going to vote to pass this, and it's going to be unanimous. However, these big concerns that we have had here in the House, we hope it's taken up with our buddies and our homies in the Senate. This man literally sat up on national television and said, we have a bunch of reasons why we don't want to pass this, which is all BS, by the way, which we all know. These are all the reasons, but because we feel so much pressure, the survivors were just talking outside, by the way, shout out to the brave women who were outside of the on Capitol Hill before Mike Johnson was speaking. It was super moving, very brave of them. Mike Johnson literally said, because of the pressure that you guys have put on us online and social media, we don't want to pass this, but we are. But we just hope and pray that the Senate doesn't pass it. He literally said that out of his own mouth. It was crazy. What's another thing I want to tell you? Okay, so that was Mike Johnson. But anyways, at the point is that it has passed. It's now going to go to the Senate. I'm going to play a video for you of Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, letting you guys know why he thinks the Republicans and Donald Trump are okay with letting these files come out right now, which I still think they're still going to try to hold it up. Just want to put that on record. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of resistance in the Senate. I feel like they're going to drag their feet, but with such an overwhelming vote of 427 to 1, it's basically unanimous. The Senate is going to have a hard time voting this down, but I don't put anything past them and Donald Trump. They might come up with something. I still think there might be something with Donald Trump, and the reason why he might have to veto, even if he says, yeah, I'm going to release it, I'm going to sign it, there might be something there, and also the DOJ. If anything, this could still be a year process. Check out yesterday's episode 624. I broke it all down of the 5 or 6 different possibilities that Donald Trump and the Republican Party could still hold this up. I won't go over it all today, but I did it extensively yesterday. But here is one other thing that has been added to the mix. Mark Epstein is accusing the Republican Party of scrubbing information. Take a listen.
What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for them is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out of it. That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
There you have it. A reliable source from Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, who, by the way, was in some of those emails that the Oversight Committee released. Y'all think he's just making that up out of nowhere? Like I said, let's take the win today. Shout out to the House. There are a bunch of other hurdles before we get all, not parts, some, then all of the Epstein files. But let's take today's win. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to our first lead story. Donald Trump says Americans can expect a $2,000 tariff dividend check by the middle of next year. Please don't get excited, anybody out there. Let me just read this to you. Donald Trump is trying his best to distract us. Well, there you go, right there, just right off of the first sentence. Donald Trump is doing his best to try to distract us. And what is the best type of distraction? Money! Money, 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 money! If anybody knows, Donald Trump knows, all right? He has previously announced his plans to give Americans a $2,000 dividend check as a way to serve the money taken from other countries from tariffs back to American family. Now he's giving us a proposed timeline when this could happen. Okay, just like a timeout there for 1 second. I'm sorry. Even this article is wrong. Tariffs is not money from other countries. Tariffs are monies. Tariff is money from American companies. If an American company is buying something made in China for $10 and the tariff is, let's say 20% for easy math, when that product comes here, the American company has to pay, what did I say? Let's say it's $10 and it's a 20% tariff. The American company has to pay $2. 20% if it's 10. What's wrong with me today? They're buying something from China, $10. They're buying this pen for $10. It lands here in the US. An American company has to pay $2 to the US. It's coming from an American company. It's not coming from the country that's tariffed. It's to encourage the American company not to buy from China and to buy here from the United States. Could China maybe do a little deal and say, oh, we know the tariff is high. Instead of charging you $10, we're going to charge you $9? Yeah, maybe they can. But the point is that when the tariff is paid by an American company, and that American company now, instead of paying $10 for that pen, they have to pay $12. Instead of selling it to you for $14 and make $4, now they sell it to you for $16 so they can get back that $2. So really, the tariff money that Donald Trump is sending you back is your money, because you paid for it, because China's not going to lower it. American companies not going to lower it. They're going to put all of that to you. And at some people, some companies will actually charge extra because, they want to make money on their money. So they won't just charge you to 20%. They'll charge you 40% because they got to put up that upfront cost, put it on the shelf, and wait a month or 2 months to get that money back. Sorry, I digress. By the way, I was in the retail business for over 10 years, okay? I did importing and exporting my own before I was big for like 5 years. I was literally the ones at the border paying the tariff. So please don't even, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is Donald Trump. We're going to be issuing dividends later on, somewhere prior to the middle of next year. A little bit later than that, Donald Trump says, noting that it would include thousands of dollars for individuals of moderate income. We're going to pay down debt. We have lots of money from tariffs from Americans. If we didn't have tariffs, this country would be in serious trouble. These proposed checks will reportedly be issued out to families who make $100,000 or less in a year. The checks will also conveniently come just before the 2026 midterm elections, which is likely not a coincidence. Though this might sound like a win for Americans who need the money, there is no real guarantee that the checks will ever come. The proposition first has to pass and get approved by Congress, not to mention the Supreme Court, who has yet to determine whether Trump's high tariffs are even legal. According to NBC, several justices were skeptic about Trump's administration assertion of sweeping power to declare a national emergency to justify the tariffs. So if the courts strike down the tariffs, that means no money for Americans. This isn't the first time that Donald Trump has promised money and the American people have not gotten it. Do not forget, earlier this year, in the first few months of his term, Donald Trump claimed that he was going to give dividend checks to people from Doge, and it never came. As you can see, this is not the first time he has promised money, so don't hold y'all breaths. So I'm sure you guys remember, the money we're saving from Doge are going to get back to American people? Nothing. And I like that they mentioned the Supreme Court. The only reason why Donald Trump was able to put on all these tariffs is he declared it an emergency. It's still up to the Supreme Court. If I'm not mistaken, they're even looking at it right now. And we could get a decision in the next couple of days. And if the Supreme Court determines that, no, we don't feel like this is an emergency, we don't feel like these tariffs are fair, all that money gets sent back to those companies, and there is no money for him to give out to you. So last week when we told you about this $2,000, I was like, guys, don't hold your breath. Donald Trump just keeps talking about this. And I keep on telling you, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I just don't like any political party, especially Donald Trump just saying things on True Social. And the average American just takes it like, oh yeah, he said it on True Social. You know, back in the day, like it would be harder because you'd have to say it like, you know, on ABC or NBC or in an interview. And then the person who's interviewing you will check you and be like, what? You're giving $2,000? By the way, A, you're the president, yes, but the Congress holds the purse strings. So what, like, this has to go through Congress. Has this been approved that we don't know about? But now Donald Trump just governs over social. And it really bothers me that some people you'll hear, even in my own comment section, well, yeah, Donald Trump says he's going to do this. Donald Trump is going to do that. Guys, ChatGPT is free. Google is free. Anything that Donald Trump says, just check it. Just fact check it. This is so far from being able to be issued out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for him to even be mentioning this as the president of the United States without saying every single thing after it. Oh, it should be coming next year. No, like, by the way, this could not even happen in the next couple of days if the Supreme Court overturns it. But let's talk on the flip side and to know really what's going on. The reason why he is saying that he wants to give you your money that you're spending at the grocery stores and at all these places with his hikes is that if the Supreme Court does wipe it out, he could turn around and say, I tried for y'all, man. You know, that's why he's saying this now, to put pressure on the Supreme Court so they don't look like the ones that are keeping $2,000 out of your pockets. He plays games with y'all, man. Anyways, let me know what you think now that I've explained it. Hopefully, it's horrible. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, in our second quick story, we're going to touch on this quickly. Pat Beverley accused of putting hands on his sister. The reason why I'm going to just touch on this quickly is because it's really bad. And it's like hard for me to read on this platform. But we told you about this last week about Pat getting arrested. So now we have more details, okay? I'll try my best. More details have emerged regarding ex-NBA player Pat Beverley's recent arrest. According to reports, the former NBA guard turned podcaster has been accused of doing some pretty harmful things to his young sister at their residence in Texas. A probe cause affidavit obtained by TMZ states that his sister claims that he put hands on her and literally like lifted her up the ground, causing her feet to lift from the floor. She says that it was hard for her to get oxygen, and he had his hands for around like 30 seconds, okay, around her top area. And he just continued to do really bad things to her, okay? Let's just put it that way. During the altercation, she alleged that Beverley was also threatening her and saying that he will be the family relative that will unalive her. The report notes the incident began after she returned home from a nearby park where she had allegedly met her boyfriend without permission. Authorities later observed visible marks on her neck area and some other visible marks as well too. Beverley has been arrested and booked on multiple felony charges. In response, Beverley's attorney says Patrick Beverley has no criminal record. He cares deeply about his little sister. He says that he unexpectedly found her alone at home with a 18-year-old man in the middle of the night, and he was understandably concerned, as any brother would. However, we do not believe what followed happened in the way that his sister is describing it. We look forward to addressing this issue in court. Okay? Sorry, but y'all know I keep my channel very general. It's a G rating here, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. Now, We posted this, by the way, it's on our Instagram if you want to read the details of exactly what he did, but it's not really important. On our page and a couple of other Instagram page, there is a discussion of him protecting his sister, and I just strongly disagree with this statement. And again, this is alleged until we do have some information. Pat is saying some of these things are not true. I don't have anybody close to the situation. I haven't reached out to find out details. Details are murky. So, I talk about things that I know about, and when I don't know about it, I stay away from it. But there's clearly something there because in the report, the police said that they could see some markings on her. So we know that something happened. What we also do know is that according to his statements and also his sister's statements, there was never a time where Pat is saying for now that he felt like his sister was in danger. So yes, as a brother, if your sister is in danger, hey, the gloves come off, bro. Like, do whatever you got to do to protect your family, your niece, your mom, do whatever. Like, let's go. But to be upset at your sister and this alleged boyfriend who's 18 and she is younger, and to be upset at her for doing something, that is no reason to be putting hands on your little sister. I'm sorry. That's just crazy. There's other ways to go about things, okay? And while I can understand what some people are saying, that he's a concerned brother and that's his alibi, at the end of the day, bro, it's not the 1950s anymore, man. It's just not how things are done. We know better. That's not going to help her. That's not going to change her. That's not going to make her realize anything, okay? So yeah, I think this is all wrong. I don't care if it's in the face of protecting your sister, protecting your family, doing whatever. Until I hear this alleged boyfriend, that if he did something, fine. If he didn't do anything and he was just there, nah, bro, that's just not. You don't take that out on your sister. No. Again, this is with the information we know. Okay, so we will follow up with this shortly. There's obviously going to be more information that comes out. When more information comes out, we will follow up and let you know. Till now, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, in our third quick story, major breaking news: Trump judge blocks Republican gerrymandering maps in Texas. A judge just blocked Texas gerrymandering maps. The Republicans will be forced to use their 2021 maps. Okay, we're going to touch on this real quickly. If you remember, Gavin Newsom just had a huge win with Prop 50 in California, adding seats. The Republicans are trying to add seats, and a judge in Texas that would have normally, a Republican judge would have sided with Donald Trump, would have sided with him, did not side with him. So those, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5 seats in California, were not picked up in Texas. So as you guys know, that Donald Trump Republicans have been trying actively to be adding seats. And the reason why I just wanted to put this out here very quickly is I'm trying to show you guys all the cracks in the armor. The House voting on the Epstein files today, 427-1. Just last week, I told you guys that there was only 4 Republicans willing to vote yes. 2 were ordered to come to Donald Trump's White House, and that he was begging and pleading with them to take off their name. The next morning, the 2 said, nah, we're keeping our names there. The next morning, that 4 went to 100. And now today, you've seen it was unanimous except for 1. I think I just saw the name Clay Higgins or Clay something. Clay Higgins is the one person that said no, which his name is trending right now, which I think it's better to just not give him any attention. That's what you do. When people do that to try to get attention, don't give them attention. Anyways, people are deflecting. We told you yesterday, Candace Owens, and we told you Joe Rogan, Aiden Ross, people, Marjorie Taylor Greene, etc., etc. The cards are coming down on Donald Trump quickly. mighty quickly. Now, I don't know what this means for Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, Pat Bondi, and all these other people, but when you are losing this much and the judges, things are not looking good for the Republican Party and Donald Trump. Well, things are not looking good for Donald Trump, and this is probably the Republican Party trying to save themselves. Y'all remember that sweeping elections, or the multiple sweeping elections that they lost 2 weeks ago, I think it is now. This is a result. We'll see what Donald Trump does next. So now, let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. All right, in our first quick story, Megan Thee Stallion heads into Miami federal courthouse for second day of trial in her defamation lawsuit against Milagro. All right, we have been telling you guys this is the third day now. Nothing really exciting, but I'm still going to do my due diligence and keep you guys up to date, although I think it's a complete waste of time, this trial. But Megan McCuffin, our friend who is there, she put this out on Twitter. She said the jury has been seated for the Megan Thee Stallion defamation lawsuit against Milagro. 5 men, 4 women, including 1 black man and 1 black woman. The black man is a teacher who describes himself as a disciplinarian, and opening statements started yesterday, 1:30. The judge summarized the case, which you all should know by now, but Megan accuses Milagro of falsely accusing her of committing the crime of perjury and promoting fake PORN, a fake PORN video of her, and engaging in extreme and outrageous conduct by coordinating with Daystar Peterson, the man convicted of doing what he did to Megan Thee Stallion. And Daystar Peterson is Tory Lanez, okay? Now, here's a picture of Megan coming into court today. Megan Thee Stallion walks into Miami federal courthouse for the second day of trial in her defamation lawsuit against online commentator. And here are 2 things that have come out of today. Milagro wrote in her notes that Tory's DNA could never be excluded or included on the GUN, but that's not what she told her followers. That's one thing that they're trying to bring up. Like, hey, you told your followers one thing, but the notes you found on something else, not a big thing. Here's another thing that's coming out of it. Megan says, I wonder how the jury is coping with the huge amount of details that they are getting from total toxic social media banter involving complete strangers. And one juror asked a question that indicates that the answer is not looking good at all. So what is Megan basically saying? The jury feels like there's just too much blah, blah, blah going on. And that's why I told you this case is just frivolous. It's Megan saying, this social media person, Milagro, she was online saying bad stuff about me. She was saying that I was lying on Tory. She's saying that I was in a video, in a PRN video. And the jury is saying, like, why am I here? I want to get back home to my kids. I want to do my job. Like, what are we talking about? Like, social media, people just talking ish on social media. It is ridiculous. One juror says that they are confused about all the names and relationships that they're hearing about. One juror said, I'm unsure about who Tony Lanez is. Is Daystar Tony? Tory, by the way. And is So-Star the dad? And Kelsey is the former friend of Megan, correct? I haven't heard how they will address this situation at all. So again, it's just ridiculous. A couple other content creators that I've spoken to says that the case is very boring. They wish that it would, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tie up, but come to a close. They say, content creators in there, they say they should bring this to a close by Friday, but the lawyers are saying that they're going to need all the way till next week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Nobody can figure out why. Milagro is never going to admit to anything. She's been on the stand for almost a day now. She's holding up saying, hey, what I said online is what I said online, not holding up. And like I said, the jury seems very uninterested. That's what I have. A couple of you guys have asked me why I haven't gone down to cover it. There are a couple content creator friends I know that are covering it. And like I said, because it is boring, it's a frivolous case. It's nothing. It's Jay-Z and Rock Nation and Megan trying to flex their muscles. Tory Lanez is already not coming out of jail, and this is just making Megan Thee Stallion look bad. And the more reports that come out like this that saying this is ridiculous, it's only proving my point. So y'all know I like to say I'm right and I told you so. So I'll just take the opportunity to say I told you so. All right, moving along, our second quick story. Candace Owens hints at a major reveal in Charlie Kirk's investigation. Candace Owens tweeted out this. She says, "Today is going to be a big day. We will present in the Charlie Kirk investigation. What we will present in the Charlie Kirk investigation is going to change everything. This is not an exaggeration. Nothing will be the same. Today on the show, we go max." And she put max in cap locks. "We found irrefutable proof that Turning Point USA knows more than they are telling us. Charlie was right. He knew I would be the one to defend him after he had been unalived." Okay. Y'all know that I was in Candace Owens' corner reluctantly when she started this whole Charlie Kirk thing. A couple of y'all dragged me for it, but I was like, yo, just give her some grace. A couple of weeks ago, she's like, after all of this 2 or 3 weeks, I'm like, I might be wrong. And I was like, yo, Candace, are you serious? And now today she's going all max, which is yesterday. I didn't watch it. I did hear some of the highlights. Apparently, she has discovered that there was a plane, a blue and a yellow plane, I think 67 times, if I'm not mistaken, that was not tracking Charlie, but tracking Erica. That's her big reveal, and saying that Turning Point knew about this. So I'm not saying it's nothing. All I'm just saying is that Candace was going really hard for 2 or 3 weeks, saying how the FBI is lying, Donald Trump is lying, Kash Patel is lying, Tyler Robinson was not the right guy, like the GUN, like she was like, everything is wrong, like the biggest conspiracy like in the past century. And now there are some planes that were tracking Erica, which is, I'm not saying it's nothing, but I'm just saying like, I have put Candace Owens on the fence. She's on the fence. I'll keep watch. I'll hear, but I'm a little weary of Candace right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, our third quick story, Donald Trump. Donald Trump berates reporter who asks if there was anything incriminating of him in the Epstein files, and he says, "Quiet Piggy." Just like to reiterate that, yes, this is the president of the United States, which I know you guys are well aware of. During a November 14th flight on Air Force One, Trump snapped at a reporter for asking him about the Epstein files. The video circulating online, you could see Trump answering questions from a reporter on the aircraft. During the time, an off-camera reporter from Bloomberg, Jennifer Jacobs, asked if there was anything incriminating in the Epstein files, to which Donald Trump pointed his finger in her face and says, quiet, Piggy." Now, this isn't the first jab at a Bloomberg rep, nor is it the first Piggy insult. Just 2 days prior, he lashed out at a Bloomberg reporter for not letting him finish his statements, claiming, You're with Bloomberg, right?" He continued, "You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you." Listen to the video. Now, listen, this is not the first time that Donald Trump has been rude to a reporter, but I feel like this snapping is Donald Trump cracking under pressure. He is feeling the pressure, ladies and gentlemen. We will see what Donald Trump does in the next couple of weeks. All right, our fourth quick story. Stephen A. Smith pulled from ESPN's NBA Countdown lineup for the rest of the season. First joined show precursor, NBA shoot-around in 2003. All right, we haven't talked about Stephen A. Smith in a long time. I told you guys I'm done speaking about him after the Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, all of these comments. Jasmine Crockett, I have been dragging Stephen A. Smith way before anybody else wanted to cancel him. Go back. Literally, it's been 8 months. And then after the Jasmine Crockett, I was like, yo, all right, I'm done. But I have, talked about little things just to kind of, again, make my point. And now it seems as if he is removed off of one ESPN show. Now, he's still on First Take. He just signed a contract. But I wonder if this backlash, this him being on Sirius Radio, his Straight Shot No Shooter Wednesdays, all this political talk he's doing, I wonder if ESPN is like, bruh, we're going to like step back away from you a little bit. Wow, the end of an era. On Monday, November the 17th, ESPN announced the lineup for its NBA Countdown team, and it noticeably did not include one of the show's recurring hosts, Stephen A. Smith, who is 58 years old. Now, Smith first joined the network in 2003, appearing as an analyst on NBA Countdown's precursor, NBA Shoot-Around. Despite Smith's absence from the show, he still obviously remains one of ESPN's biggest stars and the face of the network. Like I said, he just signed I think it was like $120 million contract, but this was before all of this. Now, one thing I did talk about, I think last week, which I'll just say now because we're talking about him, I saw clips of Stephen A. Smith saying that he thinks Michelle Obama could run for president and win. That's a very, very different Stephen A. Smith from just 2 weeks ago when he was talking about Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, and Michelle Obama and all. He has not been a fan of black women in politics, let me tell you. And he has been dragged, and he has apparently, from what we've heard, lost some sponsorships. There has been a drastic shift. And just 2 days ago, now he wants to come out and be like, oh, Michelle Obama is talking about being president. I think that she could make it. Now, we played that clip for you. I think it was on Friday or Saturday. And I said, not only do I think that Michelle Obama should run, I think that she can win, I want more women in politics. And I deep dove into the reason why. I feel if there's more women in leadership political positions, we'll have less battles, less this and less complications, whatever. We can go into a deep dive about that another day. But for Stephen A. Smith to try to come out and think people are going to believe his take on that, Donald Trump, Stephen A. Smith knows that he is in trouble. And the thing he doesn't realize is that people are not dumb. The internet is not forgiving. They could just go and research and find out what you've said just last month. So that's just my 2 cents on Stephen A. Smith. All right, our fifth quick story. Somebody put this Kanye West update online. It's been circulating. They're like, Ye, in the past week, comes out at the Travis show in Tokyo. He met with a rabbi and apologized. He privately apologized to people that he hurt. He removed all mentions of NAZI and the person who, was in charge of that, HH. And he's developing new Yeezy stores. Ye is on a comeback. Now, y'all know how I feel about Kanye West. We're not going to talk about it. My daily listeners know. Just his album rollout didn't do well. He decided not to release it. Some people are saying that he is ramping up to come out again. Let's stay tuned. We'll see if there's anything crazy in the next couple of days. Something to do with mental health, bipolar, or something, just something erratic. We'll see. We'll see. All right, in our sixth quick story, all right, there's some pictures floating around yesterday of Drake and Sexyy Red. Drake put in a caption, I said tennis lessons, and she says, where's the bracelet and the necklace? All right, everyone's favorite, hip-hop couple. I love seeing Drake and Sexyy Red together. I haven't even made any calls about this to find out what it is, but I'm just going to speculate. I feel like this is some sort of collab. This is a video or whatever. It's not important enough for me to try to dig and find out what it is. But for those who are seeing it, you could tell by the outfits, and you could tell by this isn't just a candid they were hanging out, and they do have a relationship outside of music, but this is not them, just hanging out at someone's house and they're just playing tennis. There's a song, there's a collab, there's something coming up. Drake's working on Iceman. I just saw something where he was explaining Iceman and how he doesn't like traditional rollouts. You all know the live streams that he was doing, which I think the last one was a complete fail. So just, keep your ear out. Drake, has alluded to maybe dropping in the fourth quarter. We know that's the biggest time for music, et cetera, et cetera. we'll see. Don't be surprised if there's a Drake Sexyy Red song or the Drake Iceman album being released shortly. I know I like to be ahead of things, so this is my tap on the shoulder. If you wake up, what day is it today? Wednesday. If you wake up this Friday and you hear a new Drake song, remember where you heard it first. All right, our 7th quick story. Okay, my new favorite online trend. Love this. Gen Z men are now leaving the Nike tech and replacing them for quarter zips. Okay, y'all know whenever there's like an audio and then like people just repeat it. This one is about Gen Z throwing away or putting aside the tech fleece and being like, yo, we don't drink what do they say? We don't drink coffee and wear Nike tech fleece. We have quarter zips and we drink matcha. It's hilarious. This is the original audio, but again, it's taken off. It's a big TikTok trend going over to Instagram. Take a look.
We don't do Nike tech. We don't do coffee. There's straight quarter zips and matchas around here.
It's dope. Like all the kids now are just like, they're quarter zip and they're putting ties and they're putting dress shirts underneath and they're even throwing away their Jordans or their running shoes and they have on like a half boot kind of dress shoe or whatever and the dress pants and it's just shifting, right? And as you guys know, I was in retail for 10 years actually 15 years. And you see trends come and go, right? We saw the baggy jean go to the skinny jean, get back to the baggy jean. And it's been a while that you've seen like that preppy kind of upscale look. It was here for a minute when Jay-Z said, you say I'm going to throw out my jerseys and jeans and trade it in for button-ups. I'm 30 plus. I don't remember the exact line, but he said, yeah, button-ups started becoming the thing. That didn't last too long, but it was Jay-Z who was like, yo, I'm done with jerseys. And then Lil Wayne ushered in that kind of like that skate movement. And then it was more like Kanye and a couple other artists. Then we got into like the high-end kind of look. But even the high-end look wasn't like a preppy look. It was more just high-end and, Kanye with his Yeezy brand, that kind of like baggy earth tones, the scoop, jogger pant, etc. Anyways, I love this. I love the quarter zip, your little tie, your little thing like that. I like the preppy look. I'm down with that. So if you are on the streets and you notice some Gen Zers and you're wondering how come they're not wearing hoodies or push iced tees or whatever, or Jordans and a little preppy, it's starting from this trend right here. Don't do Nike tech fleece, man. We drink matcha and quarter zips. I love it. I love it. By the way, this should maybe be question of the day, but do you guys like matchas? Somebody turned me on to it like this summer. I've had it a couple of times. It's good. I just don't think that I don't see the craze in it, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Let me know what you guys think about matchas and this whole quarter zip trend in the comment section below. All right, our 8th quick story. This one's got to be quick because there's a lot of things I can't tell you about it, but we posted this up on our Instagram. Woman found doing something to herself in a movie theater and refused to stop after cops got there. Yes, go to our Instagram page, The Trend Out Loud Show. You don't actually see her because they blurred that part out. I mean, it's a cop's dash cam. But just the audio and just to see the argument and just to see the cops like, yo, what are you doing? Like, yo, can you stop? And it literally goes on for like 2-3 minutes. Then she like gets up and then she's like, oh, hold on. I want to continue a little bit more. And then they like take her out and arrest her. It's crazy. For all the people who are like, oh, you want cops to be more understanding? Like, yes, we want cops to be nice, but this is a little extra. Like you're really letting her do what she's doing. Anyways, go to our Instagram page, The Trend Out Loud Show, to check it out. It's hilarious. Shout out to the cops, though. Shout out to the cops. Because they could have been aggressive. They could have done a lot more. We've seen what's going on with ICE and all of this stuff. These cops were nice. Let me know what you think after you see it in the comment section below. All right, in our 9th quick story, Draymond Green. I told you guys yesterday Draymond was a fool. The NBA has passed a warning to Draymond Green for his interactions with the Pelican courtside fan who was chanting Angel Reese at him. All right, I'm surprised that he did not get a tech from that. Actually, I think the refs are trying to be nice to him. But for those who didn't see yesterday's episode, Draymond was getting into it with a fan on courtside, and the fan was literally just calling him Angel Reese because he wasn't taking shots and just rebounding. Draymond, like, grow up. Anyways, just to follow up on this, the NBA did issue a warning. He was lucky. All right, in our 10th quick story, Blueface's mom says that she was unaware of the 17-year age gap between Blueface and Hazel E. All right, I had a video, but you don't even need to hear it. Blueface's mom is like, I think it was TMZ that caught her. They were like, yo, what do you think about him and Hazel E? And she's like, oh, it's cool. He's breaking away from Krishan, breaking away from, Jay and Alexis. Okay, they're like, yeah, well, how do you feel like that she's almost your age? She's like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, Hazel E is 45. That's the whole thing about this relationship. And by the way, Blueface has been doing live with 2 other girls outside of Hazel E. And Hazel E just last week was like, yo, it's been 2 years since I've been out with a man and, been online and have like made things official. Like, let me live. Blueface has already been with 2 other girls. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, this is my favorite online reality show. So I just wanted to give you guys today's update. Yeah. Blueface is dating a woman that's close to his mom's age and his mom doesn't know. And she's a little shocked. And now she feels like he's with a sugar mama. I'm sure you're probably going to see something on her Patreon for $10. Don't worry, I'll let you guys know about it. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. All right, y'all. This brings us to everyone's favorite segment, comments and social discussion of the day. Okay, before we get to everyone's favorite, I have a very important question to ask you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Oh, wait. Do you think about it? Please tell me your answer is yes, okay? Because the answer is yes if you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Please go to my sponsor below, aura.com/trendoutloud to get your 14-day free trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. If you are ever wondering how scammers get your cell phone number, home phone number, or any other number, or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers, and they sell your data. It's legal, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling it to marketers, scammers, or even stalkers. That is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura.com, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you automatically, and I'll explain that in a minute, automatically removing your name off of these sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and keeping your back door open. Now, let me explain this automatic thing. Any site that you go on that you put your information, whether it be your email address, your name, social security, credit card, anything, your information is stored in the background, and these companies sell that information for a couple of bucks. And think about the millions of people they have. They sell it for a couple of bucks. That's how they make billions of dollars. But they sell it off in the name of, oh, it's just for marketing. We want to know what Mary's into. We want to know what Trent's into. I know what this person is into. In the midst of them transferring and selling your information to marketers, bad actors can get your information. And that is why you get phone calls from people that you never gave your phone number to. And you're like, how'd you get my number? They bought it from places that you are buying things from, Amazon, Netflix, whatever, wherever you're entering your information. And what you can do is go to these places and say, hey, can you delete my information? Hey, can you delete my information? But in this day and age, it's exhausting. Who can go to the 30 or 40 places that has your information? That's the great thing about Aura. They automatically take any of your information that's on the web and they take it off. That is what makes Aura amazing. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal information is ever found on the dark web. You get real-time fraud alerts if your credit card or banking information ever leaks on the dark web. You also get a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they also have US-based around-the-clock customer service. US-based, okay? They also include... not offer, they include a $5 million identity theft insurance protection package. you are covered in all assets. This is unequivocally the best digital security protection out there. It's the second link below, QR code, and it's free to sign up. And you can see all your information that's out there, and they will take it off for you. There's no reason why you should be online and not have Aura, okay? Let me get to comments. I don't have a super chat today. I'm a little hurt, but it's all right. I still love y'all. So we're going to go to, like we do every day, we're going to go to a random comment. We're going to go to the comment section. We're going to click newest, and we're going to do it like a raffle style. I'm going to scroll down, and then we're going to come up, and then we're going to stop right here. And this is from Miss Ray. Oh boy, here we go. Ooh, this is long. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys, like I can't read this whole thing. It's very long, but we'll get context. Hey Trent, I'm a new subscriber and just wanted to say I love your show. Thanks, Miss Ray. I have my notifications set and now actually look forward to hearing your news more than I do my local news back here in Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you. But I'm leaving a comment because I want to piggyback. You said for us to drop all pen about Cardi B and Stephon Diggs and the newborn. And I just want to say I totally believe you. And here's why. It was a lot of hype about her single Outside dropping at the time it was dropped. I was all over YouTube because it seemed like every guy was waiting for this single about Offset. So I was like on all the blogs pages and see a post that stated Offset was Cardi B's baby father. Now I brushed it off because you can't believe everything you see. And just like you said, she was so busy trying to make all of her fans believe it was Stephon Diggs. So I dismissed the notion. And if I'm not mistaken, the post she is a picture of her. And I think it looks like she's saying the Offset is her baby father. But mind you, this was some months ago around the same time when she dropped that single Outside, or should I say the anticipated single Outside. So to hear you finally say this, months later, my grandmother always told me if you hear something more than twice from another person, it usually has some truth to it. Keep reporting and I'll keep watching. Thanks, Trent. Happy holidays. All right, I had to read that whole thing just to make sure that I got. Thank you, Miss Ray. Really appreciate that. I don't know how I'm going to get this whole thing in here, but all right, here, let's get this whole thing here. So yes, this is in response to yesterday's show, 624, if I'm not mistaken, where we're breaking a story about me having receipts and information, and I gave out mostly like half of it, kept some stuff close to the chest just in case I get that cease and desist letter, that Cardi B's newborn boy that she's alleging is Stephon Diggs is not Stephon Diggs, and it's really Offset's child. So I won't go back into it. For those of you who want to know, just go and check out yesterday's episode 624. Thank you, Miss Ray. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And thank you for putting on your notifications. Thank you for loving the show. I really, really appreciate the support. Okay. Because I didn't get a super thanks, I'm going to remind you guys again how to give a super thanks. These are for the people who have asked me for PayPal and Venmo and want to give back because they really appreciate the show. You could just go to any video that we post and you'll see like, share, and you might have to scroll if you're on your phone, but you'll see a thanks button. You could click that thanks button, and there you'll see a dial, and you can give back any amount you would like to the show. What's great about it is it gives you an opportunity to put in your comment. You could just leave it as thanks, or you could change and put in a comment. What I like about it is it sends me like a notification. It sends me a notification. It's like sending me a text message. I'll reply to you right away. And if you want, I will read your comment the next day on the show. And you could also use it if something that you would like to promote as well. Here is YouTube explaining it better than I can.
Buy a super thanks by clicking the thanks button under your video. There are multiple price points a viewer can purchase that each have their own special one-time animation. As an added bonus, viewers will get to post a distinct, colorful comment in your video's comment section.
All right, thank you, YouTube. Also, another way to sponsor or help support the show, sign up for the Out Loud membership. With the Out Loud membership, you get loyalty badges, emojis, member-only live stream, member-only videos, early access to new videos, and member shoutouts. Also, you get access to my vlogs, which, sorry, I said I was going to put one up today. Super busy with all of this Epstein and Jay-Z stuff that I had to do some research on. I have recorded it already. I will post it up tomorrow. There's an Out Louder, Tiffany, that sent me some voice notes, and I'm giving her some advice, so make sure you stay tuned to that. For those of you who are non-members, my vlogs, if you like social discussion, you like me talking about life, and I deep dive into stuff, that is what the vlogs are about, so make sure you sign up. It is the first link below, or you see a join button above us. When you get to the membership page, you'll see different levels. You'll see Out Loud, Proud, Family, MVP. That's just like a tip menu. Some people have asked to give more throughout the month, so that's why we have different levels. But it gives you all the same access. Y'all are still all the same Out Louders, right? So sign up and become an Out Louder today. Also important to note, I am going on the road this weekend. I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm planning to do some lives out there, member-only videos, some access, like behind the scenes. So make sure you sign up for your memberships today because we will be doing some fun things this weekend. That's also to note for people, you won't get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday regular show, but we'll have some lives and we'll have some fun stuff. Y'all know when I'm out on the road, I always give you guys fun stuff, right? Okay, now let's go to today's social discussion. It's actually Blueface. Blueface was on a podcast and they asked him who his favorite ex was and who's the one that he missed. He said, Blueface says Correlate is his favorite ex and he admits that he still misses her and then calls Krishan Rock his worst ex. So it got me to thinking, and I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys rate your exes? Are you guys like, oh, this one's my favorite ex and yo, this one is my least favorite ex, or I missed this ex? Me? I'll answer that right now. First of all, I don't think that's healthy. If there's an ex you miss, call them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're thinking like, oh, I missed this ex. I am done. I don't want to talk to none of my exes. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. I don't want to, well, it didn't work out for a reason. Now, there is one of my exes from a long time ago that, look, our families were really, really tight. And it was a kind of like a very amicable breakup. I've seen her a couple of times. When her father passed away, I went to the funeral and I've seen her like once or twice and we talked and I was at a restaurant with my friends. My friends knew her, but that's the only ex whatever that I would like. Again, I don't believe in the whole relationship and let's keep talking and let's talk while I'm married and you talk like, not saying anything is wrong with that. If some of you do that, fine. Of course, if you have kids with somebody, fine. I get it. Like I said, our families knew each other before we even knew each other. Okay. And when she came and moved where I lived, like our families knew that they were coming down and anyways, the whole point is that it intertwined even before our relationship. So that's why that one, but all the other ones, yo, don't call me. I will call you. I want to know what's going on. Like, I don't care. I do not care. So my answer to this is I don't have no favorite ex. They're all my exes are my least favorite exes. And I just think that's healthy. And that's healthy for any new relationship. Again, it's just my opinion. But I do know that there are people out there who are like, hey, I was close to somebody, so I just want to keep up or whatever. I think we had one in social discussion the other day where there was like some girl that was like, oh, I don't want to block my ex on Instagram. You know, we were together for so long. He cares about me. He's going to want to know how I'm doing on Instagram, so I can't block him. And the guy was like, what? Like, why do you care what your ex is doing and how you, block your phone, block your Instagram? Like, yo, dude, like, that's just my opinion. I'm just not of that cloth. Weigh in. I know I'm going to get some comments in the comment section of this because I know that most people are not on this kind of wavelengths, but that's just me. Not down with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, y'all. This brings us to question of the day. All right, this question is the kind of questions I like, but it's kind of boring. But it's not like life or money or relationship, but it's still kind of boring. I like it, but I don't. What car brand has the most problems, but people still buy it? First person said Range Rover. I have one. BMW. This is coming from somebody who sold cars for years. All I know, it's either Jeep or Range Rover. Another person said Mercedes. Another person said Jeep. Audi, get rid of it as soon as it hits 50,000 kilometers. The other person said this Nissan Altima about to make it 300,000 kilometers. Tesla, BMW, definitely BMW. I just love my little affordable Honda, and it's no one talking about it. Somebody said Land Rover, Mercedes, Ford, Mazda, BMW stands for break my wallet. Tesla, because y'all love pain like it's a personal trait. Range Rover will ruin your life. All of the above. Ford, Jeep. All right. Y'all know I'm a car guy, and that's why this question is like, people are just going to say the car that they have because every car you have has problems because that's what cars are there for. They make, and I used to sell cars, by the way, they make cars to have problems because there's small margins on the car sale. The money's on the comeback. The service, the oil change, the this, the that, but the brakes, the pad, you get into an accident, you need this, you need that, or whatever. So regardless of whatever car you own, it's hard to find an owner of a car that's like, this is the best brand, I don't have to put money into it. One thing the person did say, and I always told people that were coming to buy cars from me, Honda, specifically Honda Civics, is one of the most reliable cars, and also Toyota. That's why you see a lot of taxis being Toyotas. The person said Nissan Altima. I guess Altimas are not bad either too, but Toyota doesn't play around. But for the reliability, you cannot beat a Honda, man. That will start rain, sleet, or snow. One thing I just will put as an asterisk, kind of just put some thinking back into this. 10 or 15 years, we're not going to have this kind of problems. This newer generation kid that's coming up is Uber, Tesla, self-driving cars. You're not going to own everybody owns a car in the family, this or whatever. This like country living, people are going to live closer to the cities. Cities are going to be, like what I call, I think micro cities or tech cities or whatever. You're going to have so many things available. You're not going to have to go out as much anymore. You're going to have robotics, AI, on all of this stuff, working, Zoom. The days of cars driving around is almost gone. So just keep that in mind, the people who are tired of spending money on cars. When Tesla has their Autobot things, and it's going to cost you little and nothing to travel around because people are just going to own these Tesla taxis, and just as it's sitting down in their driveway, you could just order it and drive you somewhere. You're not even going to need the car anymore. Food for thought. Thank me later. Let me know what you guys think and what your answer is. What is the brand car gives you the most problems, but people still buy them? In the comment section below. All right, y'all. That is it for me today. These shows keep getting longer and longer, but you guys like that. So thank you very much for kicking with me. I thought we had a good show. Please let me know what you think. Make sure you comment below. Before I let you go, just going to tell you and remind you about 3 things. Please, I didn't get a super chat today. I feel like I'm not loved. Give a super chat today for those of you who can and would like to give back to the show. You get there's a thanks button at the bottom of every video. Just click that and you can give back. Second way to give back, sign up for the Out Loud membership. It's really, really fun. First link below. And also, anybody who's online, and y'all are online if you're watching this, make sure you sign up for Aura today. It's the second link below, QR code beside me. You are not going to want to be online or give any of your information again after Aura shows you what they can show you, okay? It's free, link below. Before I let you go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trying Out Loud show. Like I mentioned earlier, for those of you who want to listen to their shows, we're available on all podcast platforms. Just go to any pod site, type in Trying Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And we upload daily. Now, for those of you who are like me and need visuals and like to watch video, head on over to YouTube, type in Trend Out Loud, show will pop up. 6 things I'm gonna need you to do. First 2, hit that subscribe and like button, get the algorithming. Third thing, and most important for me personally, is you guys are my co-hosts. I need you guys to comment. I ask you guys a lot of questions, a lot of insights. What do you think, this, whatever. If you're not answering me, I'll look crazy out here, and I don't like to look crazy, all right? Wild and fun, but not crazy. So please try to join in on conversation. Now, for those of you who don't want to join in on a conversation, please don't feel pressured. But one thing that you can do in the comment section is let me know the country or city that you are watching from. Before I go to bed every night, I look at all the comments, and one of my favorite things to see is where you are watching from. So feel free to comment that. And I love when people are like, yo, much love from Colorado, much love from South Africa. Love seeing those. Fourth thing is, for those of you who are really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, because it helps with growing the channel. And just like thanks and memberships and giving back, we are here to work. This is my job. This is my career. So you helping me grow this channel is greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. And I don't take that for granted. So please try to share the show. Fifth, please sign up for the Out Loud membership. And sixth, thanks button below. Give back to your favorite YouTube host. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms. It's also the same handle, Trend Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, please try to share. Please try to share and follow our Instagram page, The Trend Out Loud Show. Like I said a couple of times in this show, there are things that we cannot play on YouTube for copyright reasons and restrictions, etc. It's very, very strict around here. We put it up in its entirety on our Instagram page. And I think it's just a good way to hear some of the stories that we're going to talk about throughout the day. By the time we post up at around 6, 7 o'clock at night, you are up to date with some of the videos, and then we're ready to talk about it together and for you to comment below and just digest the show. All right. So it's a full circle way to be more involved in the show. Make sure you follow us today. Thank you so much for kicking with me. I hope this helped your Tuesday night, or I hope it helped your Wednesday morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in around the same time tomorrow for another episode. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud.